We might feel like we've seen it all when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's, but once you consider how massive this universe truly is, it still feels like there's a lot missing when it comes to the experience of playing these games. Welcome back, my fellow gamers. This is Top 10 Gaming and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. Today we'll be counting down the top 10 scary FNAF moments that should be in the games. Join me and let's get counting. Number 10. Death by Gumdrop. I have always found the story from Fazbear Frights, known as Gumdrop Angel, deeply disturbing. This one comes from the book of the same name and features a story where spoiled children consume candy before turning into it themselves. They then generally make their way back to the restaurant where they themselves are boxed up and served to other children for their birthday as a birthday treat. It's pretty scary stuff. Never mind getting jump scared, I want to see this option for our deaths pop up in the video game world of FNAF. Much more frightening, I think, to slowly become a paralyzed but sentient human-shaped gumdrop that is then torn to pieces and consumed by others as they smile, laugh, and rejoice at your unknowing demise. Like, wow, that's really dark. Where's that in the games? Number 9. Fan of the Fan. The fan has been a key prop in the FNAF series. A trusty fan usually exists in most of the offices that we've attempted to survive in throughout these games. But what if even the fan was horrifying? That's right, I want to see even our trusty fan become something that can jump scare us to death. I want to see the fan transformed into an animatronic. I know it sounds weird, but what if there was an animatronic always in the office with you that you also had to monitor, lest it would sneak up on you and spook you? I think it could be really wonderfully weird and delightfully upsetting in the best of ways. After all, if we all got an allusion to the Scott Cawthon created sentient coffee pot, and there can be a whole game about a little candle, what's to stop us from making the fan a character in the FNAF franchise? I'm just saying. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want more lists like it where we talk about some of our favorite things that haven't come up yet in the games, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 8. Bunny Call. Bunny Call is the name of a Fazbear Fright story and book. It is the 5th book in the Fazbear Fright series and also features the story that I want to talk about, the titled story there, Bunny Call. In this story we join our protagonist Bob, who is headed to Camp Atenia with his family. However, he didn't want to go, and because of that signs them up as payback for an early morning wake-up call from Ralpho the bunny, the camp's mascot. Later, Bob regrets his decision and attempts to prevent Ralpho from entering the cabin the morning of the call. He succeeds, despite the fact that the bunny mascot is super persistent and tries to get into the cabin pretty much every which way. Bob later learns that this person was not actually Ralpho, as the staff member who does the morning bunny calls never came around and overslept. I've always wanted a Fazbear summer camp experience, and it would be really cool to have something like the bunny call happen in said potential future game. Who else is down for the Freddy Fazbear's Family Fun summer camp experience? Anyone? Anyone? Just me? Number 7. Time Traveling Spring Bonnie. In Into the Pit from the first Fazbear Frights book of the same name, we learn of a time-traveling ball pit that protagonist Oswald disappears through, taking him back to what appears to be an old Freddy's of the past. At one point, he seems to experience what it was like when those murders happened, the chaos surrounding them that day when all those young ones went missing. He even runs into the person responsible, who we assume to be William Afton in a Spring Bonnie suit. Spring Bonnie also attempts to follow Oswald back to his present day and seemingly succeeds, kinda taking the place of his father. I think it would be horrifying to incorporate some of these elements into the villain themselves and the games. I mean, what's scarier than William Afton that doesn't die? How about immortal William Afton who can also time travel? I swear, if that ball pit in Security Breach does not allow us to time travel, I'm gonna be so disappointed. I'm gonna be elated on one hand because I'm gonna be like, yay, time travel could complicate things. I'm also gonna be so sad because I'm expecting the time travel now. Number 6. Andrew Fights Back. While William Afton has been a major character the whole way through when it comes to the FNAF game franchise, we still have yet to meet another seemingly important character from the books. A character we believe is named Andrew. Andrew is believed to be the vengeful, childlike spirit that haunts William's severely burnt self in the Fazbear Fright story, The Man in Room 1280, which comes from the book Bunny Call, the 5th in the series. Here we learn that the spirit is the one keeping William alive despite being so badly injured. The spirit refuses to let William die because he wants William to suffer as he has suffered. It is believed that this child, Andrew, was an early victim of Afton's. He also is affiliated with an alligator mask that could be a symbol of Montgomery Gator. Andrew goes on to become one of the spirits that possesses the Stitchwraith and often is angry and vengeful. Considering Montgomery Gator is in Security Breach and maybe who this mask refers to, it's hopeful that we could see someone like Andrew show up in the games at some point, helping to also prevent William from resurrecting back into the physical world. Which would be a really cool team up, I'm not gonna lie. Number 5. Cooked Alive. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but here we are. One of the scariest moments for me from the Fazbear Frights books is from the story What We Found. In this story from the 8th Fazbear Frights book, Gumdrop Angel, we learn the story of a man named Hudson, who becomes a security guard at the Fazbear Frights location. He ends up tormented by the ghosts and Springtrap, all while seemingly hallucinating from the bad ventilation in this place. In the end, he gets cooked alive in one of the ovens in the kitchen, trapped there with it somehow being turned on. While many of the FNAF games take place in restaurants or involve them in some way, we've never seen or experienced anything quite as gruesome as this in the games. We've seen animatronics being burned alive, but never people, and I think this is a deeply disturbing level of horror that the games could use. I mean, kitchens are scary after all. They have all kinds of things that could hurt you, so it's weird that we've never really explored them more in this world, especially as a lot of the places, we've been in have had kitchens. It looks like we'll be spending at least some time in the kitchen in Security Breach, so I guess we'll have to see if such gruesome fates await us or our enemies there. Number 4. Charlie's robotic origins. A cool thing for us to learn in the games that originally comes from the books. In the Silver Eyes trilogy, we learned that Charlie, or Charlotte, Henry's daughter, was never really human. Well, she was originally human, I guess, but it was a really long time ago. She was kidnapped and killed by William Afton when she was very young, believing for years that it was actually her twin brother, Sammy, who had died. In reality, it was not her twin brother, but herself. Filled with grief, her father, Henry, lost his mind as he made 4 humanoid yet robotic versions of Charlie to represent the different stages of her life. Eventually, one of these robots dies, and we learn the truth about Charlie's origins in that final book, The Fourth Closet. It would be cool to see a robotic version of Charlie resurface in the games, and learn that she had lived on in some way after her death as a robot that Henry had made. Number 3. Lucky Boy's influence. Another story that has haunted me ever since I first came upon the Fazbear Frights books is Sergio's Lucky Day from the 8th book in the series, Gumdrop Angel. Truly, Gumdrop Angel still has some of the most horrifying stories ever thus far when it comes to these books. And Sergio's Lucky Day is definitely one of them. In this story, Sergio finds Lucky Boy, who is very similar in appearance to Balloon Boy, but if you combine it with something like the toy known as a Magic 8 Ball. Anyone else remember Magic 8 Balls? Are those still a thing? I think those are still a thing. You used to shake them, and then you would ask them a question and they would tell you the answer to it. They would tell you what you should be doing. Lucky Boy helps guide Sergio, making his wishes and his dreams come true, seemingly, and bringing him luck, but eventually also twisting his sense of free will and ultimately leaving Sergio in a worse condition by the end of the story, even influencing Sergio into disfiguring himself in an attempt to impress and get a date with his old high school crush as he attends his high school reunion. I really hope we get to experience the influence of Lucky Boy in Security Breach, or possibly a future FNAF game. We've already met Balloon Boy and the female version of that character, JJ, but it would be really cool if there was a whole series of just different types of creepy statues or toys like this, Balloon Boy, Lucky Boy, Good Boy, Laughing Boy. I like the idea of something that sounds really nice but is actually terrible. All of them could be cursed in their own way. Number 2. Stitchwraith. The Stitchwraith is a character I think we've all been hoping comes to the FNAF games continuity. A fan favorite from the books, the Stitchwraith is a character that appears in each epilogue of each Fazbear Frights book, and the mystery of which has been unraveled throughout the series of these books. It would be cool to see them adapted to the games and see what side that they would be on, the side of good or the side of evil. I imagine the Stitchwraith as a creepy ally who freaks you out, but also aids you in your fight to stop William Afton. Maybe as long as you stay out of their way. The Stitchwraith is a character I'd love to be jump scared by, but I would also love to see take on Afton themselves. Number 1. Master Plan Reveal. Something I have been waiting a long time for, it feels like. I think something we've all been waiting for really, is the great reveal of exactly why William Afton did all this. Was it all orchestrated? Why does he kill? Was it all a mad science experiment? Are these acts committed in fits of passion? Is it a compulsive urge to kill that drives him? We still don't know any of this. Something I would love to see in Security Breach, or at least at some point in the near-ish future, is a grand speech delivered by William that explains pretty much everything. His motivation, why he did what he did, I mean, you know, even what inspired him to get into the world of family restaurants, pizza, arcades, and animatronics. Perhaps we could get a whole game that reveals some more of his backstory and motivation besides, but I'd honestly just be content at this point with some evil monologue explaining his master plan. Just please, help us understand. Give us some kind of explanation. What are moments you'd love to experience in these games? What is your favorite Fazbear Fright story? Or do you prefer the Silver Eyes trilogy of books? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I am your host Amanda McKnight, saying thank you so much for watching, and reminding you as always to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!